Okay, removing a belt to get to the alternator. You'll need a 10mm socket, 3/8 wrench, 15mm ratchet, or maybe a wrench and a socket, and a short flat screwdriver. First, unplug the sensor, pull this back, press, unplug that. Then remove the two bolts holding the intake and the bolt holding the overflow. I usually settle these up top not to lose them. Remove the overflow to the side if you can. Intake, you'll need a screwdriver to loosen this hose clamp. And once that's loose, you wiggle it to take it off. After that's out of the way, the belt tension is right there to the left. The belt goes kind of like this. Crankshaft pulley under it, over the water pump, around the power steering, up on the alternator, under the tensioner, or under the idler, and over the tensioner. I usually put it all on besides the idler, so the belt is sticking here, and when I tension this, I'll slip the belt under the idler. And to remove the tension, you will twist it clockwise. So I will twist clockwise at the same time. I will pull the belt from underneath the idler. And you can just leave this wrench here and still be under tension. Well, that's enough to get the belt off. Move that to the side. Then you have to loosen these two bolts. They're long. Get them out. There's also a plug in the back with the tab. I usually either use that small screwdriver or my finger to pry it off. There's a 10mm nut in the back. But before starting all this, do disconnect the battery, either positive or negative. That way you won't short nothing out. This is just for demonstration purposes. So disconnect the battery, do all this. 10mm in the back. You pry the rubber off. Push it to the side. And then you can get your ratchet and socket on there and get that nut off, set it up top. Once you get these two bolts loosened and out, you will need to pry underneath with either a pry bar kind of on the side here, on the side here, to get this out. There are two short little spacers that are sticking out that way. The bolt forces it in. So it's nice to have a little hammer to hit those from the back side, kind of knock them so they stick out a little bit more, so the new alternator will sit in there easily. Sometimes if I don't have that, I will get these bolts out and I'll grab the alternator and I'll shake it back and forth as much as I can with two hands to kind of spread these apart. That way I can get the alternator out and put a new one in. So that's the basic idea behind changing the alternator and getting the belt off. And to retension that, it's a little bit tougher, but it is doable. Let me set the phone. So get that wrench going. At the same time, push the belt while you're twisting the wrench. So get it under. There we go. And it's a good idea to make sure Your belt is still on the grooves on all of the pulleys as much as you can feel them. Flashlight, phone, make sure you check them all. That way they look good. And if they look good, water pump below there, then you can remove the wrench and kind of reassemble everything in reverse order.